Welcome to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we are going to be reviewing the Sole F80 Treadmill. This is consistently one of our top ranked treadmills here at Guru because of its quality construction and steel frame. So even though it is a sturdy treadmill, the treadmill itself only weighs 278 pounds, but it will support a user capacity up to 375 pounds, which is why we have rated it our best treadmill for heavy runners. The footprint of the Sole F80, it is 37 inches wide, 82 inches long, and 57 inches high at the top point. You've got a 22-inch wide by 60-inch long running surface and a nice 2-ply belt with some gentle texture to kind of keep your feet from slipping as you walk along. From the floor to the track is about 8 inches, so really easy step-up height. It's a little bit lower than comparable models, probably because it doesn't have the decline, so it sits a little lower to the ground, which makes it really easy to get on and off. One of the great things about it is this is a folding treadmill. So down here at the end of the deck, there's a steel beam, and you can just lift, and it will lock into place. It has a hydraulic assist that helps you lock it up, and then once it's up, it's nice and locked. You can see the steel cross beams and side rails under here that really make it feel sturdy when you're on it, and it doesn't rock around on the ground. You've also got extra support underneath. And unlike other treadmills where you've only got the 2 wheels under the uprights, you've got 4 here on the Sole F80. You've got 2 back here and 2 more up front. So it's a little easier to just kind of rock and move back and forth if needed. To drop that deck, simply release the bar, and a hydraulic assist system will gently lower it back down. You don't even have to hold it. It'll rest nice and easy on the floor. The Sole F80 has a 3.5 horsepower motor, which is pretty good motor for a treadmill in this price range. The motor's positioned up here under the front of the deck. And one thing on the Sole F80 is you've got a little bit of a larger motor hood. So you'll notice up here, it comes a little bit farther out and stands a little higher than some of the other treadmills that we've used. Occasionally I have grazed my foot on it, but if you stand back and use most of the track, you're pretty good. But it does support walking, jogging, light running. 3.5 horsepower is a pretty good motor. It also will go up to 12 miles an hour for your speed, which is comparable to what other treadmills will do and about the most speed that you would need. And it inclines to a 15% grade. So the top of your deck will pivot up, which will really give you some incline training and lots of training variables when you combine the speed and the incline. You've also got Whisper Flex cushioning in the deck. So as you run on the deck, there's a little bit of give underneath, which absorbs some shock impact. Sole claims that this reduces shock impact by about 40% compared to outdoor surfaces. I didn't feel it was quite that much, but it is definitely better than running outside. And since you're up off the ground and you got a little bit of travel underfoot, you can really feel that shock absorption. One thing we love about Sole is they offer very extensive warranties. So you get a lifetime warranty on the F80 on your frame, deck, and motor. They provide a 5-year warranty on electronics and parts and 2-year warranty on all labor. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the console. Let's take a look at the console design for the Sole F80. So first, the good. Sole builds quality machines. They're very simple and they're designed to be sturdy and efficient, but they don't have all the bells and whistles. So these machines are ideal for someone who doesn't want to worry about internet access, doesn't want to worry about a subscription service, just wants a basic treadmill with a few simple programs that they can use at home without having to worry about all the extra stuff. So that's what Sole does do. One thing that it doesn't do is have a lot of the other functionality features that we oftentimes see on a few of the other treadmills. For example, You don't have one touch controls for speed or incline. Down here you've got incline buttons, but they skip 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15. You've also got speed buttons, but they also skip a little differently. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 12. So we're assuming that these are the speed and inclines that are most often used by most users, which is why they've selected those. Up on the console, you do have an up-down for incline, but only by 1/10. So if you're at a 3 and you want to go to a 4, you're going to have to push it 10 times to get it to go up to a 4, because your next preset button is 5. So there's a little bit of functionality limitation there. The speed buttons do the same. So they'll increase or decrease your speed by 1/10. But if you want to go from 5 to 6, then once again, you have to push that button 10 times to get it to go to 6, because there's no 6 preset button. So the functionality is a little limited. Your programs up here are easy to see and use. The one thing to know is each program, there's only one program. So if you hit hill, it's going to be the same program each time. If you hit fat burn, it's the same. Cardio, strength, and hit, there's just one preloaded program for each of these buttons. User 1 allows you to establish your profile for one user. User 2 is for a second user. And you do have 2 different heart rate programs. One is your target heart rate at 60%, and the other one is a target heart rate at 80%. One thing that Sole does do is include a heart rate monitor, which syncs really easily. It'll display your heart rate on the monitor for any of these programs and also allow you to use those for your target heart rate. It is adjustable. It's a little funny in the front in that it's a little stiffer than some of the other ones that we've seen, but it does connect really easy. So that's nice that you do have the heart rate monitor that will sync up with your programs. There are EKG clips right here if you don't want to worry about the monitor. They're not as precise, but they're easy to hold. They're about 7 inches in length. So they're easy to hold right here, and once again, they'll sync up and display your heart rate on the monitor. So you've got a couple different display options here. This is a 9-inch LCD display. It's white backlit with black numbers. I really like the digital numbers. I think they're very easy to see. You've got incline, distance, speed, calories, and total time. It also will tell you your pulse or heart rate. And then it just kind of gives you a little outlay of what program you're doing, what's coming, things like that, so you kind of know. So the console does have 2 speakers up here, and it is Bluetooth compatible. So if your phone has Bluetooth on it, you can sync it to the machine and it will play your music. There's no volume control on the console itself, so you have to control it from your phone. But it does provide some pretty good sound if you want some music in the background. And Bluetooth, we just synced it. It was actually really easy and intuitive, so that's a really nice feature. You've also got a USB port here on the side, so you can plug a cord in and charge your phone while you're working out. That's kind of a nice thing. There is a Sole app that you can sync with your phone that'll kind of keep track of workout data and stuff like that. You can go for a run outside and it'll streamline it as if it was an indoor workout on the treadmill, so that you kind of got it all together. It doesn't have any additional programs or content or anything like that. It's more just data syncing. So you've got nice storage. That's one thing I really do like about this console, is there's really nice storage. There's multiple pockets. You've got a shallow here and a deep here on both sides, so it easily holds a water bottle. You can set your phone here. You've also got a nice wide lip here. If I wanted to set my phone up here, I could. And then one thing I really love about the Sole machine is they include this tablet holder at the top, standard. So if you've got your tablet, you've got an adjustable clip here at the top. You can put that in there, lock it down, and it will hold it securely while you work out. That's really nice because it doesn't come with like subscription content with classes and color programs and things like that. So you can watch something on your tablet while you work out, and the machine will keep track of your metrics for you. So just a few measurements. One thing that the Sole machine does have, which is really nice, is you've got nice wide width right here. So your span between handlebars is about 31 inches, but the handlebars themselves are a little shallow. So right up here, you've got a plastic overlay, which isn't super comfortable to hold. The total length of the handrail is about 17 inches, but you only have about 11 inches of padding right here. And then on the padding, you've got up-down buttons, which are convenient when you're working out because you can just quickly adjust speed or incline up or down. But when you're getting on or off the machine, it's easy to grab or hit them accidentally. So that's one of those other things that's kind of a positive or negative depending on how you use it. The other thing that can be a positive or negative is you've got actual tactile buttons. where you push and they have a little bit of pushback. That's really nice because you can kind of feel the button react as you push it, but they're more likely to get stuck, they're more likely to get broken, they're more likely to get dust or get sticky. So it's just one of those things to be aware of on the console design. One other thing, you've got nice storage down here. A storage tray spans the bottom of that track to add 3 more compartments for holding. And then you've got an easy start-stop button here at the front and also your safety key. The Sole machine does come with a fan. There is a fan up here at the top. It only has an on-off button. And even though you can position it a little, for me it doesn't quite come low enough, and it's not super powerful. It's certainly better than nothing, but it's not as powerful as what we see on comparable machines. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of the functionality of the console, how it works, and how all the programs work together. Let's take a look at the overall functionality of the Sole F80. So the track inclines to a 15% grade. I've got it all the way inclined right here, so you can see about how high it sits up off the ground when it's fully inclined. The great thing about the 15% incline is that you can set those different incline levels to work so that you add training variables. So you're not always on a flat grade and you're not always on the same hill and you're not always working at the same speed. You can kind of mix it up so that you can enhance and vary your training. Now up here you can see I've got nice side rails that run along the side that I can stand on while that track is moving if I'm getting on or off the machine. It will slow to a 0.5 mile per hour speed, but anything below that it will stop the track. So this is about as slow as we can go. But up here you can see I've got nice track length, good kick space back behind, and plenty of room up front. The motor hood, like I said in the beginning, is a little bit higher than some of the others that we test, but if you stand back on the deck and utilize all of your space, you're totally fine and it's not a problem. So one thing I love about Sole machines that I am consistently impressed with is how quiet they are. So listen to this deck just as I walk really slowly. I'm gonna put it at just 1 mile an hour and walk really smooth. There's hardly any deck noise. So it's really quiet. This is a 15% incline. I'm gonna drop it down to 10 and just listen to the motor as it drops. It's very smooth. At some point I was testing it and I had to actually get off the machine and look down underneath to make sure it was moving because it was so smooth and quiet. So we've dropped it down to a 10% incline and I'm working at a 1 mile an hour speed. So the F80 goes up to 12 miles an hour, which is about all the speed that you would need. So let's kick it up to 3, hold it at that 10% incline, watch the deck kind of absorb the shock underneath and listen to the noise as I walk. So I'm at 3 miles an hour and I'm at a 10 incline. It's very quiet. Let's drop it down to a 5 incline and I'll keep walking. So that's how long it takes to get from a 10 to a 5. It's easy to keep walking. I don't have to hold on. Transitions are very smooth. The motor is perfectly powered, so it doesn't feel overpowered like I'm trying to keep up, and it doesn't feel underpowered like it lags. And there's hardly any noise. So we're gonna hold it here at a 5 incline, and I'm gonna pick up my pace just a little bit so you can hear how it sounds when we run. Let's do 5 miles an hour. We'll take it up to 6. So you can hear how that's just super quiet. While you're adjusting, it's inclining, declining, the speed transitions a little bit. This is one of the quietest treadmills that we've tested. So I'm gonna drop that incline down to a 1. So this is roughly a flat grade. And you should be able to see that deck just kind of give a little bit underfoot. I'm gonna drop my speed and once again step off onto the side rails. So you can just watch that track go. It's very smooth. You've got a 2-ply belt here with just a little bit of texture. Just enough to hold your shoe so it's not slick. It doesn't grip too much, but it gives you good texture. These side rails are nice and wide. They provide plenty of foot space. They can get a little slippery, so that's one thing to be careful of, is just make sure your side rails don't get overly wet. And then stepping on and off is really easy. So some great functionality here on the F80. You can see we love the Sole F80. It's got some great functionality. You've got a little bit of cushioning in the deck, nice good track length at 22 inches wide by 60 inches long. It will fold up, lock in place when not in use. 12 mile per hour max speed, incline up to 15%, great extended warranty. This is a high quality machine and we love the way that Sole really stands behind their products. For a more in-depth review, check out our online review at treadmillreviewguru.com. And for a list of current pricing, follow the link below.